Good health to all from Rexall. From Hollywood, it's the Jimmy Durante Show.
A-dink-a-dink, a-dink-a-doo, a-dink-a-dink.
Yes, 10,000 Rexall drugstores who carry the complete line of top-quality Rexall drug products bring you the Jimmy Durante Show with Peggy Lee, Roy Bargy and his orchestra, the Crew Chiefs Quartet, yours truly Howard Petrie, and Victor Moore. And here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Rexall's prescription for a pleasant evening, the one and only Jimmy Durante, in person.
Each day with a song. Now even when things go wrong, you feel better, you even look better. And now for my second number I'll sing Blowy.
Oh, come on, kiss me, baby.
Oh, no, your mustache tickles.
Blowy.
Oh, come on, kiss me.
I said no, your mustache tickles.
How do you like that? Governor Dewey is even holding a primary in the swamps.
Schnoz, you certainly are well acquainted with the current political situation.
Not only domestic, but foreign, too.
Yes.
President Truman just appointed me special delegate to the United Nations. And the reason? He wants all them foreign dignitaries to see my nose.
Well, why does he want the United Nations to see your nose?
It's the only big thing left in the world that Russia hasn't asked for. But, Howard, what a distinguished mob there was at Lake Success. Why, the place was amuck with foreign diplomats and their diplomatresses. I just threw that in. However, after presenting my credentials, I stepped into the washroom where I met the Turkish delegate who was wearing a hat with a feather in it. And you know, Howard, a thing like that can be expensive.
Well, how come, Jim?
Every time he bowed, he brushed me off and I had to keep tipping him. But this encounter made me realize that keeping the United Nations from getting united is the costumes that Turkish delegates wear.
The Turkish delegates' costumes are preventing international agreement?
That's right. How can you have a man-to-man talk with a guy in a pair of bloomers? It was very embarrassing. He kept snapping his elastic at me.
Well, Jim, tell me, how was the weather in Lake Success? I understand you ran into a heat wave.
Yes, Howard, the temperature was 92 Fahrenheit, which is just 8 degrees below Gesundheit. That's another little thing I stuck in. But the hot weather doesn't scare me. I show the delegates how to ignore the heat. I gave them the Durante recipe for keeping cool, which is both APRA and PO.
Oh, how fascinating. Say, what is it, Jim?
Well, you get a punch bowl, fill it full of shaved ice, put in 3 lemons, 2 oranges, a jigger of vodka, 2 quarts of Paul Maison 32, and a bottle of maraschino cherries.
Well, will you keep cool if you drink that?
You don't drink it, you're sitting it.
You're sipping it. Then why the maraschino cherries?
I don't know, but I tried it without them, and somehow it just ain't the same. But it's a pleasure to be back in California, especially since the California Chamber of Commerce held their annual Bathing Beauty contest last week. And, Howard, who do you think they called on to act as official judge?
You mean?
Durante.
Gosh, it must be fun judging a beauty contest with all those gorgeous girls and fascinating figures.
Well, it's better than stepping on a rusty nail and bleeding to death. But as it turned out, I didn't get to judge all the contestants. The first girl stepped up, I measured her shoulders, her waist, and her ankles. And then I was disqualified.
Disqualified? What for?
I got so interested in my work, I forgot to use the tape measure. Durante, you must have swallowed a strawberry. You're being rash tonight.
Well, Jimmy, I hope with all these outside activities of yours, you haven't neglected your political campaign.
On the contrary, Howard, you're laboring under a misapprehension.
Well,
Why, just last week, I officially opened my campaign with a tremendous rally, and what a thrill. Before I mounted the podium, the audience was restless. But when I started my speech, all 50,000 of them shut up like clams.
50,000 people?
No, clams. I was speaking in Pismo Beach. When I passed the hat for contributions, I wound up with 4 quarts of chowder. But nothing discourages Durante. If my country needs me, I'm ready. Let me tell you about it. I'm sitting in the club car of the Congressional Limited when who sits down beside me? My old pal from the Supreme Court, Justice Murphy. And what happens? First he looks at his watch, then he peeps under his black robe. Then he looks at his watch, and again he peeps under his black robe. So I said, Judge, why do you keep looking under your black robe? And he said, shh, underneath I'm developing pictures. Arriving at the nation's capital, and I hope to get my hands on some of it, I went direct to the presidential suite at my hotel. Just as I was drawing my bath, and you should see some of my drawings, I heard street noises, horns blowing, people shouting. And what were they shouting? They were shouting Durante for vice president. We want Durante. We want Durante in Washington. So nonchalantly smoking a Turkish towel, I stepped out on the balcony. How do you like that? No balcony. That was before Truman. Suddenly looking up, I heard Umbriago shouting, I make a motion to back Durante for vice president. And what happened? The motion was thrown out, followed by Umbriago. So I jumps up, and believe me, this is what I said. Now, if Washington needs me, I'll answer the call, but they better not call me collect. Now, Marshall, Forrestal, Vandenberg, Truman, look 'em up, and you'll find them all in Who's Who. You can't miss. Now, I know I never got my name in Who's Who, but I did get my picture once in What's This? There'll be some changes made when I get to Washington. That I'll guarantee. Changes in domestic relations, foreign relations, and trade relations. That's what I want to do, trade relations. The last time I was in Washington, a lady rushed up to me and said, didn't I see your face in a 5-cent piece? I said, you mean I look like Jefferson? She said, no, a buffalo. So if Washington needs me, I'll answer the call, but they better not call me collect. 2 weeks later, I'm at home in my bathtub, mending a leak in my water wings, when the telephone rings. Slipping into my shorts, I rushed downstairs to the delicatessen store to answer the phone. Picking up the receiver, I said, hello, but I heard nothing. Then I thought I smelled something funny, and what do you think? I was talking into a salami. Finally, I got the call, and who was it from? My old biology professor from Harvard. He said, James, as a candidate for vice president, I want to ask you a question, and I want an answer. Do you know the meaning of political economy? Arbitration by arbitration? And devaluation of international monetary stabilization? How could I give him an answer? From the question alone, I fainted. So saying adios and goodbye, too, I shouted, if Washington needs me, I'll answer the call, but they better not call me collect. And I warned them that I demand respect. If you want to be sure that the product is pure when you ask for drug preparation, buy the Rexall line at the Rexall sign of Rexall identification.
Did you know that more than 2,000 different drug products carry the name Rexall? That's a big family indeed, and a highly respected one, too. For in millions of American homes, the familiar name Rexall has come to mean the utmost in quality, purity, and reliability. So for any and for all of your drug needs, always buy Rexall. Have confidence in what that name means. Quality, purity, and reliability in drug products. Get them at Rexall drugstores throughout the nation, where 25% of America buys its drug needs.
If you want to be sure that the product is pure when you ask for drug preparation, buy the Rexall line at the Rexall sign of Rexall identification.
Good health to all from Rexall. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here he is. That Tyrone Power, Clark Gable, Alan Ladd, and Humphrey Bogart all rolled into one.
Yeah, but when they unroll me, I'm still Victor Moore.
Victor. Oh, now, Victor, you must mustn't be so modest. You compare with any glamour boy. Why, you've got a figure that's out of this world.
Yeah, and I wish I could get it back in. But in my new life, Hollywood and its glamour are unimportant, Howard. I've gone back to my favorite hobby, Mother Nature. And golly whiz, is it fascinating.
It is, Victor?
Yeah, why, do you realize that every day 8 million baby mosquitoes are produced by one female mosquito?
What do you think of that?
I think it's about time she got married and settled down. Ah, there's nothing like wandering through the shady...
Stop the presses. How mortifying. Why, it's a slurring my slushing.
Jimmy, what's the matter?
What's the matter? I goes over to a used car lot to trade in my 1912 Essex, which still has the original rubber and the windshield wipers. When what happens? A crowd gathers around me, points to my schnoz and said, "So that's the secret of the new Ford. The trunk rack is in the front."
Well, I guess I'll always look like the old models.
Not to me, you won't, Victor. Why, I've never seen you so sweet and charming.
Jimmy.
Come over here and stand next to me and let the audience have a good look at us. That's right. Now, honest, folks, can you tell which one of us has the Tony Pimment? You didn't think it would work on plain skin, did you?
Well, frankly, Jimmy, personal beauty is unimportant to me since I've been communing with nature. Why, just yesterday, I found a nest full of robin's eggs that had been abandoned by their mother.
How pathetic. What did you do?
I sat on it.
You sat on the nest? What happened?
Congratulate me, Jimmy. You are now looking at the mother of a 6-ounce omelet.
Flash, mother and omelet are doing well. But I love our little feathered friends, too, Victor. I even built the bird bath for my cockatoo out in the backyard.
Say, then you could tell me something I've wondered about all my life.
Oh, sure, if I can tell
When
you.
a bird is about to take a bath, does she stick her big toe in the tub to see if the water is too hot?
Victor, do you think I'd peek? I once embarrassed a bald eagle. I caught him without his toupee on.
Ah, there's nothing like the outdoors. But you know, Jimmy, just yesterday, while tramping through the wilds of lower Santa Monica, I did something that made me realize my eyes aren't as good as they used to be.
What did you do?
I picked up a snake and tried to kill a stick. And to think that in my youth I was a champion woodsman.
Champion? Say, that gives me a great idea for my political campaign. Just think, Durante, the choice of the champions.
Yeah, I might even get my girlfriend Tilly to support you.
Oh, that'd be nice.
She's a champion rifle shot. Here's a picture of her with one of her hunting dogs.
Oh, so this is Tilly.
No, Tilly's the one without the bird in her mouth.
A natural mistake. That can of strong heart around her neck fooled me. But speaking of champions, Victor, here's one right now, coming out of her corner. The holder of the jukebox crown and a little lady I'd like to go around with any time, Peggy Lee.
At 112 and a half. Hello, Vicky boy.
Hello, Peggy Pooh.
And how are you, Jimmy? Let me look into your little pixie face.
Ah, Peggy, I know I'm not good looking, but what's my opinion against thousands of others?
You haven't said anything nice about me yet, Peggy.
Oh, you know how I feel about you. You were made for me, Victor. Just made for me.
Well, maybe so, but I think the guy who poured my foundation forgot to say when.
Don't feel bad, Victor. Two duplexes are in demand. But, Victor, I want to talk to you some more about my slogan, Durante, the choice of the champions. And while we're conversing, Peggy, would you favor us with some vocal calisthenics?
Gladly, Jimmy. I'll lift a couple of bars if you'll lend an ear.
I will.
Baby, don't be mad at me. I made you cry. I'm sorry. Baby, don't be mad at me. If I mistake. Won't you string along, give a broken heart a break? I love only you, believe me. Baby, please be glad with me. Baby, don't be mad at me. I know that I was wrong, but I've paid for my mistake. Won't you string along, give a broken heart a break? I love only you, believe me. Baby, please be glad with me. Baby, don't be mad at me. Baby, baby, don't be mad at me.
Here's a 60-second story from the Rexall Laboratory.
Until comparatively recently, the only way to measure the potency of vitamin A was by making long, involved, and not too accurate laboratory tests on animals. But today, in the great Rexall Control Laboratory, vitamin A potency is measured instantly and accurately by a scientific instrument called the spectrophotometer. Vitamin A is placed on the spectrophotometer's prism in the path of a ray of light. A meter measures the amount of light absorbed by the vitamin A, and this in turn measures its potency. The spectrophotometer can't make a mistake. It's your guarantee that Rexall vitamin A products meet Rexall's high standards of accuracy. And it's one more reason why your Rexall druggist can say you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
So for any and for all of your household drug needs, always buy Rexall at Rexall drugstores everywhere.
If you want to be sure that the product is pure when you ask for a drug preparation, buy the Rexall line at the Rexall sign of Rexall identification.
Good health to all from Rexall.
Well, Victor, I'm really exuberant about my slogan, Durante, the choice of the champions.
Good, Jimmy. We'll tour the country.
Right. I'll take Joe Louis apart and see what makes him tick. And I'll take the Maggio apart and see what makes him tick.
Well, what about the swimming champ? You're going to take Esther Williams apart?
Please, Victor, anything put together that good, you don't think of it. But let's get started on our tour. Is the gang ready, Peggy?
We're all packed, Jimmy. Let's go.
Now, any state in the 48 is great.
The 48 is great and any state is a reason we should celebrate.
We ought to celebrate to people on top. We've a question to pop. It's the champions we're gonna address.
We'll get the facts on the matter from the top of the ladder.
We'll learn the secret of success.
Leave a magic carpet to take this trip.
We pull a string and away we rip.
Hey, where are we, Jimmy?
Yeah, I'm lost.
Well, let's fly low and listen to these natives down there. Maybe we can find out where we are.
I'm going to finish you off, or my name ain't Red. You asked for it, Red. I'm calling your bluff.
What do you know? It's the town of Red Bluff. Durante, like a fist eye, you're really rolling tonight. Any state in the 48 is great.
Where's the best place to look for champions?
You find champions anywhere, Victor.
Right, and where we're going, there are lots of them.
See that turnpike below? We all ought to know.
We're in Pompton Lakes, New Jersey.
And there's many a champ who is trained at the camp
of Pompton Lakes, New Jersey.
Joe Louis,
Jimmy Braddock,
Carnera.
Taxi Bear.
For a healthy place to train, very few can compare
to Pompton Lakes.
Go on down, boys, and see what's new in Jersey.
Say, Jimmy, where? Look. That guy punching the bag over there is the middleweight champ, Killer O'Toole. Let's talk to him.
Okay. Pardon me, Killer. We're conducting a survey. You're known as the most vicious fighter in your class. You've broken jaws, fractured ribs, and beaten your opponents into a pulp. Tell me, Killer, how do you account for your phenomenal success in manly art of self-defense?
I bite.
What a physique. If this guy had hair in his chest, he wouldn't make a bad pipe cleaner.
You know, in my last fight, I was in trouble in the first few rounds. Then in the fourth round, I had my opponent worried.
You had him worried?
Yeah, he was afraid he was going to kill me.
You know, I used to be a fighter. I started out as a flyweight, but I had to quit.
How come?
The first fly I fought beat me.
Please, Victor, you tax my patience, and I can't afford it now. But you know, champ, Pumpkin Lakes really brings back memories. Why, I did road work with all the title holders here. Lewis, Braddock, Canaro, and every morning I used to run through the woods with Maxie.
Bear?
Who do I look like? Nature boy?
Well, look, Killer, we're trying to bolster Durante's political campaign.
Yeah. As a champion fighter, are you willing to endorse me?
I think you'd be great, Mr. Durante. And I'll get you in shape for your rigorous campaign. Here, I'll give you a rabbit punch.
Wait a minute. You said you were going to give me one rabbit punch.
Yeah, but you know how those rabbits multiply.
Count me out, Mr. Moore. Any state in the 48 is great.
Call out the next stop, James.
Go ahead, tell her the secret.
Well, Peggy, we're going to the town that crowned you sweetheart of Sigma Chi today.
Well, now I know.
Fargo,
Fargo, North Dakota.
northwest of Minnesota.
It's the largest city in the state of ND.
Among other things it's famous for, Peggy Lee.
It did me many a good turn.
Fargo, North Dakota.
And I'm glad to return.
Fargo, North Dakota.
They gave us a chance. What are we waiting for? Let's get down and look around. There must be more.
In Fargo.
Go on down, Jim, and see how far you go in Fargo.
What's this coming? Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Is it Superman?
No. It's Hot Breath Houlihan.
Lucky I lowered my lids. I'd have wound up with poached eyeballs.
What are you doing here in Fargo with the rodeo, Miss Houlihan?
I just won the cow branding contest. I brand them by kissing them on the neck. I'll demonstrate on this cow. Care for some barbecued beef?
Imagine that. She brands cows with a kiss. What do you think of that, Victor? Moo.
Say, you're kind of cute. You homogenized heartthrob.
It gets around. The girls call me Dreamboat.
You may be a dreamboat, but I think your cargo has shifted.
Touche, Victor, touche. But we're conducting a survey, Miss Houlihan, and we want to know if you, as a champion cowgirl, will endorse Durante.
I'll be glad to. And I'll also get the Cattlemen's Association to back you.
Do you have influence with them?
Yeah. They're kind of fond of me. Why, just this morning, they shipped me 600 head of cattle.
Jerseys or Holsteins?
I don't know. They only sent me the heads.
Rustle me out of here, Mr. Moore. Any state in the 48 is great.
Well, men, we're finding out about champions.
We sure are, and we're not finished yet.
No, sir. We're headed for a place that can give us plenty of information.
Indianapolis, Indiana.
What a region.
That's where the capital is of Indiana.
The home of the Legion.
If you see something whiz right by your face,
It's not a jet plane, it's an auto race.
Indianapolis.
Go on down and find out who's your champ in the Hoosier State.
Look where we are, Victor, the famous speedway in Indianapolis. I'm going to question Whiz Whizzin, the champion automobile driver. Tell me, Whiz, how does it feel to drive faster than any other man in the world?
Oh, it's wonderful. You get behind the wheel, you turn on the ignition, take off the brakes, step on the starter, and vroom, 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 and you're off you go down the straightaway at 90 miles an hour. 90 miles an hour. There you go on the first turn. On that first turn there on the back stretch, 100 miles an hour, 110 miles an hour. Come to that turn again. Here, we're going to make it now. We made it! And now we're passing the grandstand 120, 130, 140. We're through it. It's fun, it's fun, it's fun!
How can a guy have so much fun? He hasn't even got a girl in the car.
And now we're going on to that second lap. Going at that first turn. Now we're on the back stretch again, 120, 130 miles an hour. Here comes that turn again. We're going to make it this time. Thanks!
How do you like that? He blew out one of his tonsils. Now, wait a minute. We're conducting a survey. As champion, would you endorse Durante?
Why, certainly, I'll be glad to. I'll even paint your name on the side of my car. And just think of the publicity you'll get as I go tearing down that straightaway. 90 miles an hour. Down that straightaway going about 110 miles an hour. Here's the first turn. On that backstretch. We're coming with that turn again. I was going to make it this time. The one thing he wasn't expecting on the track, a lady driver. Let's walk home, Mr. Moore. And station the 48 is great.
Upton Lake,
Fargo!
Indianapolis.
Can travel north, south, east, or west.
Till Durante is a champion while he'll never rest.
It's great.
Wonderful!
marvelous.
Stupendous.
Any state in the 48 is great. Good health to all from Rexall. We hope you're feeling fine. So always call for Rexall where you see the Rexall sign.
Remember, 25% of America buys its drug needs in Rexall drugstores. Rexall is that large and respected family of more than 2,000 different drug products. You can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall. Available in Rexall drugstores everywhere.
Touche, Howard, and I'd like to add, I do my shopping at a Rexall store, buying Rexall drugs, and furthermore, Umbriago, he prefers them too. We buy Rexall, that's all. How about you?
Be sure to listen in every Sunday on this same station to the Rexall Summer Theater, starring Pat O'Brien and Virginia Bruce. Well, Rexall for the night, folks, from Victor Moore, Peggy Lee, Roy Bargy, the Crew Chiefs Quartet, yours truly, Howard Petrie, and
Jimmy Durante in person who says, good night, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are. I hope West Virginia is listening in.
this program was produced and directed by Phil Cohan. Good health to all from Rexall.
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.